Hey, what's up guys? This video, we're going to be looking at Titanfall 2, and I'm going to do this in two parts. The first part will be about the campaign, and the second part of the video will be about the multiplayer. As I'm recording this, I've mostly only played the campaign and it's still fresh in my mind, so I want to make the video this way. I'll record the second part once I've played a good amount of multiplayer. Anyway, let's get into it. To give a little background, I thought Titanfall 2 would be one of those really good games I wouldn't get to play. I mainly play my games on Steam, and this is published by EA. For about 8 years, EA were not adding their games to Steam at all, but I'm sure, as you may know by now, EA realized how smart it is adding your games to Steam, and now all is good in the world. And out of all the games EA added to Steam, Titanfall 2 caught my eye and seduced me. And there were some good games too, like Mirror's Edge Catalyst, Dead Space 3, some Star Wars and stuff, all of the recent Battlefield games, and Mass Effect Andromeda. But out of all those amazing games, especially Mass Effect Andromeda, Titanfall 2 was the one I really wanted. And ever since they added it to Steam, it has a new thriving community. Once it got on sale, it was a must-buy. This for $10 or less is definitely worth it. As I'm recording this, they recently added achievements, so there's some cooperation and teamwork with Steam, like controller support and trading cards. Too bad you still have to sign into Origins, so if that's a deal breaker to you, now you know. Hopefully they get rid of that in the future. I doubt it. Enough with all that, let's actually start talking about the game. First of all, there will be no spoilers of any kind. Most of the gameplay will be firefights or parkour, and I'll only touch on the story. I want you guys to experience all the intense and memorable moments yourselves. I usually enjoy a game's story very casually, but all I'll say about this one is that you bond with this Titan named BT, and you kick ass together, destroying enemy titans and bases together. It's like a match made in heaven. I don't know if you guys played Titanfall 1, but that game had no campaign, and I think this one is one of the best routes they could have gone with the series. If they flesh out the series more, I think people will look back at this one a little bit as a classic. In the universe of Titanfall, I like the idea of bonding and chilling with a Titan, your human characteristics and, their robot characteristics. You would think it would lead to some interesting dialogue, and it does. You have brief dialogue options with BT, and it adds a nice touch of interaction. I've always liked a companion or buddy system, but this takes it to another level. You know the missions when you're separated from your Titan are gonna be lonely or intense. I always heard this game was about the bond with your Titan, but at first I wasn't really into it. I was playing the game casually and didn't think too much of it, but everything started to sink in eventually and I was getting immersed. Like I said, I won't say any spoilers, but the last few missions had me emotionally invested. Anyway, enough with the story. That's not the main draw of the campaign, at least not to me. I think the best parts of the campaign is the shooting, the movement, the visuals, and the creatively fun levels. Starting with the shooting, it's just satisfying to shoot enemies. It feels responsive and meaty and strong. Something that bothers me in some other games can be the lack of enemies. It's like games can forget they're supposed to be fun and don't want to add more enemies. It's called a balance, and this game has it. There's also a decent weapon variety. I mean, it's nothing special, but I really like it when they introduce you to the smart pistol. Now, the movement is on another level. Anybody who's played this game already knows. All of the futuristic Call of Duties wish they could pull off this movement, and I loved Black Ops 3. But the movement is arguably more satisfying than the shooting. Like, I'm glad a good portion of the campaign is parkour. I wish this game had a Steam workshop so people could make parkour maps. Wall running and sliding have never been so satisfying, and there's actually, learning and mastering it. But going so well with your movement is the amazing visuals. This game just looks good, and not all of it is just pretty nice high quality visuals, it's also very stylistically creative. I want you to find out for yourself, but the level Into the Abyss with all the sideways stuff is worth mentioning. Lots of cool visuals mixed with parkour, but that's pretty much the whole campaign. Nice visuals with good shooting, satisfying parkour while bonding with your Titan. I guess I'd wrap up the campaign by saying it's everything I can expect from a current good AAA shooter. Titanfall 2 is fun and interesting throughout the whole thing, which is the most I can ask for. The first playthrough lasted me about 5.5 hours, which is a bit short, but kinda normal considering the type of campaign it is. I think this helps with replayability, cause other than changing the difficulty or using a different Titan class, there's not much to switch it up, but it's still a nice, short, action-packed campaign you can play every now and then. If I had to rate the campaign alone, it'd be an 8 or a 9, but let's wrap things up for the campaign and move into the multiplayer.
Many months later.
Alright, here we are. About 20 to 30 hours later. The multiplayer is goddamn amazing! After playing such a consistently good campaign, I didn't think the multiplayer would be able to compete, but it actually does. The movement system in Titanfall 2, I already talked about it, it works so well in multiplayer too. It leads to unique and exciting moments that most other games can't do. Like, I played most of the futuristic Call of Duties like Advanced Warfare and Black Ops 3. I really enjoyed Black Ops 3, but those games wish their movement system and combat flowed this well together. You might look at some of the gameplay and see that I'm not the most slick when it comes to the movement sometimes, but that's something I really enjoy about it, and that it's a learning process. Just like in other games, you have to learn the combat, which I kinda suck at this point. Learning the movement can be just as or even more important. Can't die if you don't get shot, right? Speaking of that, being on the opposite end of that, it can actually be really annoying when players are so good with the movement system, you can just tell they're on a different level than you. So far, I barely run into these people. I try to play during the day to avoid them, but I can see it being a reason if multiplayer dies or if new players are intimidated. That's something I do worry about Titanfall 2. I know this game came out some years ago, but I wish it had a bigger player base for how good the game is. I'm pre-recording this video a few months after they added Titanfall 2 to Steam, and there's about 1,000 average players when I'm online. There was about 8,000 when it first came to Steam. I think this number will go up and down depending on sales and exposure, but I almost wish this game was cheaper so more people would play it. I got it for $10 on sale and it was definitely worth it considering the campaign and multiplayer. Anything lower is a steal. I'm okay with the current player base, so if you see this game for a good price and a decent amount of people are online, I'd say get it. When it comes to actually playing the multiplayer, I mostly enjoyed Attrition and Amped Hardpoint. I recently started playing other game modes and really enjoyed the variety, except for the queue times and better players. I tried to use assault rifles in the beginning and quickly got beat down by SMGs. For me personally, I learned the way to play was SMGs and hip firing. No, really. The hip firing in this game is crazy. Now, I'm not going to be the guy to tell you to use the car, cause it's the best gun in the game, but... No, really, don't use this. Don't be toxic. Only on occasion. Only if you're a noob. Only if you're a piece of shit. Speaking of being a noob, I used the pulse radar thingy for a while, and I regret not learning about how amazing the grapple hook is sooner. Not only is it useful, it's just fun as hell to grapple onto buildings, or especially on a Titan. The Titans I mostly used were And Titanfall 2 pros, give me some slack here. The Titans I mostly used were Tone and recently Monarch, but give me a break because I also like Legion and Scorch. I really like the variety in gameplay of the Titans, even though I think I like being a pilot a lot more. It was still fun to learn different Titans. I played a decent amount of Frontier Defense to get the hang of certain things like the Titans, and I'd recommend it to new players, that or the campaign. I just overall enjoyed all parts of this game. There's very few complaints I have about the actual game. I just wish there were more players so it'd feel more alive and casual. Certain days, it just feels like the game is kicking your ass and it's so annoying. I know I should just get good, but you want a casual environment in this type of game as well as something for the veterans, but maybe it's too late for that anyway. I know the story about this game originally releasing between Call of Duty and Battlefield in 2016, and it's a shame that hurt Titanfall 2's exposure. This game was far better than both in my opinion, and just like many of you, I got one of the others just cause of a brand name. We probably won't get Titanfall 3 cause of this, and that kind of makes me a little sad. You know, why would they make Titanfall 3 when they have Apex Legends, a game I never cared for anyway? But yeah, guys, that's mostly everything I wanted to say in this review. There was a good amount of time between the campaign part and the multiplayer part of this video, so my bad if there was any inconsistency between part 1 and 2. I just wanted to tell you guys some of my experience and opinions playing Titanfall 2 in 2020 on Steam. I appreciate it, EA, but it was 4 years after the original release. There can be some player base issues, but there's an amazing campaign and I guess Frontier Defense to fall back on. If you enjoy the multiplayer, there's enough replayability with challenges and prestiging. If you can get this game for a good price, I'd say go for it. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. It was really fun playing Titanfall 2, and I hope I encourage some of you Steam users to get it. I also wouldn't be surprised if I make another review on this game, like a 50 or even 100-hour review. It took me about 20 hours to prestige, and just like a good Call of Duty, it's a game you can really get into. I want to keep going, but I wouldn't be surprised if the pros wreck me enough to stop playing. I guess keep that in mind if you want more Titanfall videos. But yeah, guys, leave a like if you enjoyed the video, drop a comment if you have something to say, subscribe if you've been enjoying the videos, and I'll see you guys later.